Ken Hickey has brought me his Pedelec.
Okay, so there's my little beat up puppy. Remember, this is what I was saying about the tape.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I didn't realize.
actually that's on the outside. Yeah.
I'll be darned.
I don't know why they must have that on to cover up the tape on the inside, or maybe I don't know. I don't know why they have the strip on the outside, but that's. Now don't worry about the wobbly. There's two problems. One is I lost a bolt here riding on the trail a week ago. I've got one ordered, so I've just got a piece of wire tie with a Allen key there to hold it on. Normally it's nice and solid down there.
Yeah.
And up here, when we have this off, there's two rivets and they're starting to get loose. So if we have a chance, if not, I'll do it at home. They just got to be drilled out and put either a new rivet or a screw and a nut on them, and they'd be solid it'll be real solid then.
Mm-hmm. Have you had any? It looks like this brace here might be a little bit
Yeah,
off. Is it?
it's just the Velcro.
Has it always been that way, or?
No, see this just Velcros onto the brace.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's the way it fixes. So if you don't have the brace turned exactly right, we turn it a little, then it would be right with it. Yeah, you just stick it on there. So if you don't stick it on straight, it's not on straight.
Well, I'll show you the kinds of attachments we have available here. Ken and I talked about a single attachment in the middle, and then I, that evening, thought about maybe two, and since then Ken has suggested maybe we'll even work with Velcro. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how much pull there is from this side of the canopy. I don't want you to be riding down the road and the canopy become unattached. So,
right, yeah. But it would take an awful lot to pull this up.
Well,
like I say, it's Velcroed all the way around from side to side here.
if we get, and here's the thing about a canopy, if the canopy is lower in the front, usually the tendency is for it to push down rather than lift up.
Mm-hmm.
If the canopy is up too high in the front, it will have a tendency to parachute or to pull up. So
I would think we would be lower in the front because I think our contours
Yeah, I
should
think
come
so
down
too.
in the
I think
front
so
that
too.
the windshield can follow that line down to here when I put the windshield down.
well, I think when we get, we've got to take the light out here,
Mm-hmm.
and I've already got a bracket ready to go in here. We'll have to put a center hole in this back side plate. We'll have to put 1/4 inch hole right here.
Right.
But other than that, I don't think we're going to have any difficulty. This weld, if this sticks out beyond the face of the plate, we may have to put a little spacer in there. But that's our first challenge, to get those screws out, the light off, and let's work on that, because once that's there, then the canopy can go on.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do.
Yeah, that's
And we're going to take the light off.
got a winner.
Well, we're out here working on the Trike. It's supposed to be sunny this afternoon, so I didn't set up any kind of a awning. Oh my. It's snowing. What we're going to do, we're going to head and mount this adapter plate on there. The spacing behind here is to make room for the weld bead up at the top. I'm going to take these 5mm screws, and hopefully it'll go in like that. Back it up with washers. These are stainless steel nylock nuts I'm putting back here. if there's a lot of thread on a stainless fastener where the nut will be going up that shaft, it's a good idea to put, you can put even liquid soap is real nice to put on there to keep the stainless from galding. Okay, what we now have to do, there is no center hole provided in the light bracket. So with this plate mounted, we now have a template through which we're going to drill a 1/4 inch hole. That's shavings from the spacer. There's your aluminum shavings. And that's pretty darn clean in the back. I don't think there's any need to even dress that up. We're going to take this 1/4 inch, I believe this is 2.5 inch long, stainless steel screw, and I need 2 inches sticking out here, 1.5 inches for the V-block and 1/2 inch for the nut that'll go on here. Now on this little keyway, there is one side that is chamfered and the other side is sharp edged. You want to take and put the sharp edged toward the adapter plate so it fits down in that recess. That'll keep the whole assembly back here from torquing around. Without any washer at all, then I'm going to put the elastic 1/4 nut up against that. We'll be ready for a canopy. That screw was coated with like a Teflon spray so it shouldn't gald. Again, on stainless, if it starts seizing up, you need to put something on there because it will seize up and it'll weld itself together. I guess you could call it a friction weld. Now when you've finished getting this installed, if you're not going to be around the trike for a while, go ahead and put the nut on to keep from bumping into this. But this is the assembly, the adapter that's needed for when the V-block goes on here. And you can see this recess back here will key in to this oval plate. And with these 2 screws laterally apart, it should keep this from torquing around. There's a recess in here also for the nut. This has an elastic feature inside. Normally, that's it. The canopy rods will come out of these two ports. There's a light bracket or flag bar that comes up out of here. These little nylon thumb screws will hold this bracket in place, and that's what this canopy is going to be attached to. So we're good to go. I'm going to, the wing nut, rather than having it in my pocket, I'm going to put it right here ready to grab. When I'm installing a canopy, this thing doesn't weigh a thing. Have you?
Yeah, it's very light. It's like almost nothing.
There's nothing. I usually try to cradle it if you can, so I've got one hand free. And I want very carefully, I'm going to try to put this on there and line that screw up to go through the hole, so I'm not jabbing it around. And we're going to have interference down there at the bottom. I don't think it's going to hurt us from getting the pin down. There it is.
Went right in.
Well, these things were not made on a CNC machine. They were routed out. They were epoxy dipped, which swells the wood up. They were painted, which swells it up even further. I have no idea. I arbitrarily have that much rod stitching down there, but until Ken gets on here, I won't know what we have. And we're going to fit a windshield up here that we first have to fit the canopy to Ken. And it looks like I'm going to have to raise it up a little bit. But there's what it looks like. First draft. And this thing it's installed.
You want to set the height? Do you want me to get in the seat?
Well, if you want, and we'll go from there. Set this. Let me get a wrench because I know we're going to have to move this thing. Stronger it will be, because if you get it way up in the air using a lot of these rods, it wants to shift under a little bit. So I've loosened both of these screws, set screws. Guessing what we might want to do here. I'm just snugging that down, keep it from shifting. wrench handy up here. If you just hold it right there for me. Okay, what I need some stiffeners back here. Bring the front down, and this will still need to come up more. So I'm going to need some rod stiffeners. This will come back up, but I want it to come up before it starts making the arc forward.
You jumping? Yeah. I spent hours on this.
This is what these are the rod stickers I'm going to put on. These are pretty good size. This is like a 10 and a half and a 14. And this, even though these will telescope, you want to keep things together. I noticed one of these ends, this had come loose. There's a little sleeve in there. It's loose, but I'm going to put a washer on the rod, and this should stay right against that V block at all times. You don't want to slide this up, or all the bend will be down here at the bottom. Well, I usually like to work on one side at a time, so I'm going to pop the front loose. Just let it go. Let it go. There you go. Let's see.
He's making some adjustments in it.
What I'm doing, I'm taking one side loose at a time, putting the stiffener on. The rubber washer. That'll go down against the V-block. And when you're putting this back on there, you want to try to straighten it up where it's a straight shot down into that V-block. That's probably going to be a little bit high, but let's leave it right there for me. This side.
Obviously, with carbon fiber, you don't want to over-tighten the screws everything.
Well, there's a nylon snubber at the end of that section. Yeah. But yes, you're right. And there's no need to really get down on that thing. Start way up high, and maybe we want to cross it.
on the bike and hook up here. These rods are going to have quick release and hook up there.
Okay, you want to get back on it and we'll see what this looks. See what this looks like.
Let me grab my helmet so we got an actual height there.
We've got the, these are standard 6-foot rods. We've got a 10.5-inch outer sleeve, a 14-inch inner sleeve. We have a lot of room here, more so than on most trikes. So this is going to be this is a real challenge. This is the first
Are you recording that?
scorpion. Yeah.
I was going to say, did you
I think I'm talking to the
Well,
snowflakes,
no,
don't you?
no.
No.
Did you remember
No,
to
we're
turn
recording
it
it.
up? Okay,
Yeah. You're on it. You're on the video. That's what you can. That's looking pretty smart right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
That's looking real smart. I'm going to bounce you up and down.
I don't know how to clearance there.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's right. Because with the front-mounted pannier, there's no height change.
Yeah, the seat goes up and down with the canopy.
Ken, I don't know if we could improve on that.
You don't think it should be a little lower?
Well, I mean, I can make it a little bit
How
lower.
much
You want? Can we try?
I don't know how much it moves once we have the front hook.
Well, here's what I don't want to. I mean, you've got right at that point right there. Go ahead and pull that down at the front. Right there, above your helmet, you have about 3 inches. Here's my concern. Here's my concern. We don't have the solar panel on here yet.
That's going to lower it here.
It will lower. Now, how much lower, I don't know, but if you hold that, let me go get a tape measure. We'll measure this, and then when you get off, let's see, I can put the solar panel up there. Let me measure. Let's start with that.
I mean, it looks strange.
Here, that's going to be fast enough.
Yeah,
there.
it looks strange, but
Okay, pull it down to where you're comfortable with the front.
you're going to be able to see.
Yeah, well, and that could
And that really,
it could
I'm
make
telling
it
you,
folks. I got a nice visibility here.
okay, that looks good. That looks good. To the height of the canopy right here, we have 46 1/2 inches. I'll make a note of that. 46 1/2.
If you put the keys back in the... Okay.
This was a solar panel support I made for my trike. And I'm just going to lay that up there. These two cross pieces would be what's already on there, so the rods would then come out of there. I'm suggesting beforehand that we go to 4 rods on Ken's setup. I found that these 3 were just not quite adequate. I'm going to lay that up there, and I'm going to get your panel out here and just set it up there. Yep. Do you have it where you had it there? Yep. I'm going to double check you. 46 1/2. You're a little bit lower. I don't think this made it any lower. Let's see. You got it right now. 46 3/8. That took it down about 1/4 inch.
Solar panels probably take it down another quarter.
When you're handling these panels, try not to pinch and bend anything. So they'll flex, but you don't want any sharp bends on this.
Right of it.
Right a bit, yeah.
Right, you're on your helmet now. Okay, that's where we're starting. With Ken holding the front about where we're going to shoot for our windshield specifications. He's still got a good inch, but that's not a whole lot. That's not a whole lot. What I'm going to propose is that we bring rods up here with another support and bring the panel back to where a bulk of the weight of the panel is actually supported straight down to the pannier rack through the V-block. This is where we're starting. We have lost height. We went from 46 and 3/8. We're down to 45 and 1/8. What I'm going to do, Ken, while you guys are going to go take a break, yep, I'm going to put this video on my computer and I will show you what this looks like. You can look at the computer. Okay. And right now, if we're looking at coming down to this area here, we're looking at rods that might be, if we go in a little bit, I would like that, but we can come out.
Probably follow the angle of the rods that they are right in.
Well, but that'll bend. And that'll go anywhere we put it. Yeah, that'll go anywhere we put it.
Thinking maybe here and there.
We can do two, or we can do one. But the problem with the one is it wants to.
I would like the two.
You would like the two?
I think the two will give it a.
All right. Well, while we're talking, 8 inches apart, 10 inches apart,
12 inches apart.
12.
Yeah.
12 inches
That
apart.
way the bars don't block my front visibility.
Foot apart. Why don't sit still? I'll go get a quick disconnect if that's what we're talking about. This is a quick disconnect. This is how they go together. This would be on there. This would just come down and snap in. Right? And this would be flat here. And this would be somehow like that. Now, if we're going to use this type of system, I might even try to go across there with something like this. I don't know how we're going to do that yet. But I think what we need to do, when it dries up a little bit, it's supposed to dry up this afternoon. We'll see what a couple of these look like on here, and some rods. We'll play with some rod lengths so you might hold it. I know you like to hold it, but that shouldn't be necessary.
I hold it whenever I can.
All right, why don't you guys take a break? I'll take a break.
Take the solar
Oh
panel
yeah.
out there?
Again, tilting up straight. But don't let it fly up yet, because I still got that bracket thing on there. You got that? You can let the canopy up if you want.
I'm thinking on the front, we had that piece that, if you put one here, with a piece across that.
Yes, you had to have something going across.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah. So I just have to bring the one thing down to hook it rather than hooking it, with one solid piece.
Or you could grab both rods and help.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and take it off. And again, you're holding it right in the middle. It's not going to want to be held that way. It'll kind of cradle it. There you go. There you go. Get some support in there. I'm going to let the camera see what it can look like taking these canopy off. One of the challenges facing this particular installation is that the crown of the loft of this canopy is too far to the rear. This high part would be better if it was forward and more over the rider's head and helmet area. So what I'm going to try to do, this is coming up straight, which is what the rod stiffer will do, but it's too straight. I'm going to take this outer sleeve off and just leave the inner sleeve on to where there's more bend here, which will push the canopy forward. How much? I don't know. This is the unknown part of a canopy install, is this area right here. And all I've got up front thus far is a rope simply holding it about where we want it. But you can understand, until we get that back part done, we don't know where this front's going to be. And we're going to have to make a windshield that I want to look like it belongs on this trike. So we're going to start with the back. I'm going to take this outer sleeve off. I'm going to cut the camera off, take this outer sleeve off, put it right back on. I've got the rods standard length. They're just barely touching right now. So they're coming through about 2 inches, maybe 2 1/4. We're going to put it back exactly like this and see what it looks like. All we've done is take the outside sleeve of the rod stiffener off. That's one of the reasons I don't permanently attach these, is because there may be a need for only one. You don't want to have just the outside sleeve on because there's too much slop in here. The rod will bend inside the fat, inside the sleeve, and that's not what we want to happen. So the smaller sleeve is all we have on here. Now this is 14 inches long. We still have the same setting down here where the rods are coming together, but you can begin to see we've moved this forward quite a bit. I don't think I want to make these any shorter to where it would bend farther forward, because then it will start to slop down, and I don't want to decrease the height of this. I'm just trying to move it forward. But now I think we've got a lot of nice shape back here. I like what's happening there. I think with the head of the rider may or may not be right here, maybe a little bit aft. So we're getting close, because this is also going to affect where the visors are. The visors will hinge right here. So that's looking pretty good. A little bit further aft than I prefer, but doable. The shape that you see here, some of that will be eliminated with the attachment of the windshield, which we don't even know what we're doing up here yet. This is the first area you have to be concerned about on a canopy install. One of the things I wanted to point out while we're looking at this assembly is that the light and license bracket back here is a little bit cocked top aft. If it were more in 90 degrees with the rack top, this canopy would lay down a little bit more. I it may even be that that bracket has been bent. I don't know. It's hard for me to know exactly what the factory spec is here, but if that bracket is intended to be 90 degrees from this upper rail, that would tilt this V-block and adapter plate further forward. That also would allow the canopy to go forward. Will I touch it? Not with the camera on. Early in the install, we were using a piece of rope to tether the leading edge of the canopy. And while the owner is away for lunch, I've gone to a little bit easier on and off setup. We just got a little piece of Velcro here, a piece of wire. This is wire that you'd use, it comes from Lowe's or Home Depot, tie up plants with. And I put a little nipple on the end, a little vinyl nipple. I don't want to hear anybody punching holes in the canopy by mistake, so put a piece of tape in there, double this over, do something to protect the end from sticking in your fabric. And it's just a simple loop down there. This is how the material comes. It's very inexpensive, and I use it for a multitude of things. Paint hangers primarily. We'll leave it out here in case we need it some more.